How strong are your negotiation skills? All of the sudden, negotiations are critical in real estate transactions again after the pandemic rush. And if you're not working on those skills, you might be losing opportunities to close sales. I'm going to break down 3 ways you can make sure your negotiating skills are on point next. And if you like what you hear, you get some value out of this, make sure to subscribe to the channel, hit the bell for notifications. And if you want to schedule a call with our team about how we can help you with those skills, you can do that with the link in the comments. So negotiations, inspections, all these things, they can be really challenging and stressful. I know I've had the fear of, hey, this deal is going to fall apart. It's going to go sideways. Things aren't going to go well. I get it. I understand it. I've been through it. So I'm going to give you 3 pieces of advice that will help you better negotiate on your client's behalf and better manage the process so you're not stressed out about deals going sideways all of the time, because that distracts you from what's most important, which is finding new people to meet with, scheduling appointments, earning new business. So the first thing to adopt in your negotiation strategy that you have, we've talked about this before, is the 1-3-1 format. When you get to a roadblock in the transaction, you get to an issue, what's the issue? That's one. There's one issue. Then there typically are going to be 3 options for your clients. One is they could walk away from the deal. 2 is they could accept the problem as is, or 3 is they could come up with a solution in the middle. That's typically what the options are. And then the last one in the 1-3-1 is your recommendation to them. So when you give people options, it takes all the pressure out of it. Instead of saying you have to do this, you have to do that, that's not good advice. Giving people options is going to allow them to think through what's going to be best for them and ultimately best for you as their agent, because you want them to make a really good decision. Whether or not it's buying the house, that's not the point. It's not losing the client, earning loyalty, and then getting that repeat and referral business. So the 1-3-1 mindset is going to be critical for any negotiation and for problem solving. The second way you can improve your negotiation skills is to know all the contracts and know all the options that are allowed for in your state in the contracts. If you can't clearly explain what the contract says and know all the different outcomes, all the options for buyers and sellers, you're doing yourself and your client a disservice, because then you're running to figure this stuff out as it happens, and it inhibits you from the first point, which is giving the options to your client and giving them advice based on the available options. So if you don't know the contracts, read through them more than once. It is your job as an agent to know what every single document says and what it means to the consumer. How can you give someone sound advice if you don't even know what the documents are? That's a question you got to ask yourself. And number 3, let it play out and let it breathe. There's deadlines in contracts. There's no emergencies in real estate except when the house burns down. And I'm not a firefighter. So there's going to be time deadlines where we have time to deal with things. And when you let things play out and let it breathe, people can calm down. Their emotions can get back into check and they can make logical decisions. Most people don't make logical decisions. And when they have an emotional reaction like that, or it's something really aggressive, they're not thinking clearly. So when you let it breathe, call people, let them know what their options are. Hey, why don't you take a couple hours to think about it? Let's regroup at 5 tonight. I'll give you a call then. That all of the sudden lets everyone talk through things. I was just on a call before we filmed this with a seller, and guess what came up? The NAR commission lawsuit. Should I be paying a buyer agent? And we went through his options. And now he's talking with his wife, and he's going to be getting back to us. There wasn't any stress there, and we said we want to give you as much guidance as possible. Here's the reasons why this could make sense. We're going to do whatever you want. It's your call here, and we're going to give you advice because that's what you're looking for. And his response was, that's exactly what I want. I want you to be straight with me so I can make good, sound financial decisions around real estate. So when you take this 3-pronged approach, you're 1-3-1, providing at least 3 options to people, knowing all the documents frontwards and backwards, and letting it breathe, that's going to help you navigate these negotiations a lot more clearly and concisely in a way that doesn't stress you out. It's not going to stress the client out, and you're keeping everyone calm so you can move ahead in whatever direction they choose to move.